Here I come to save the day. I am a wacky dude, man. So I'm just gonna check. What's up, guys? Alright, so we got audio there. Looks like we got some audio. I'm gonna check on this other PC here just to make sure. Hang tight, my brothers and sisters. If there's any sisters out there, I don't know. Just gonna check the audio as I usually do, and it looks good. So looks like we're in business there. All right, cool, man. I'm like the delinquent YouTuber. I don't get in here often enough. I really just don't have time to do this properly. So it's cool. Today I wanted to share something though. So I just actually leased, I don't know if you can see here, you can barely see here. So I leased this Accord, just a little extra car here. I got another couple vehicles, but it's a long story. Doesn't matter. Not trying to brag. I needed a car. One of my cars broke, and then I needed a car. So I got this Accord, and what I'm gonna do is I see they're selling nowadays these little ropes that you stuff in for doing the windshield. So I have set up here some Air 90. Actually, it's Air 70. It's kind of cool. I wish it was 50%. It's got like a bluish hue to it, kind of like the Mercedes-Benz films. And so I thought I would do a video showing the windshield, how I do a windshield, how I throw that in there, and how maybe what I do can help you. And so this is the other angle here, the other camera shot. So a lot of times what you see out there, or I should say, here, let me start at the beginning. So they're selling this rope stuff that you can stuff down in the dash. So one of the common problems with doing a windshield, especially a full windshield, is you got to soak the heck out of that windshield, and having materials and having your solution go down into the dashboard is really dangerous thing. It's not a good idea, and there has been damage that has resulted. In my career, I've seen limited amount of damage. I've seen really like only some fuses pop. I never had a really catastrophic event from that, but I've been doing something like this for quite a while. So instead of this rope that they're selling out there now, what I do is I have always gone to like Goodwill or Salvation Army, something. Pick up a really nice, fine threaded higher end sheet. You can usually find a real nice sheet for like $3, right? And then what I do with the sheet, give me just a second here. I'm gonna show you. I mean, it's not rocket science. I'm stuffing that down in there, but I'm stuffing it down in there, and I'm using my Bigfoot to get the sheet down in there. So when it's in there, there's still a good amount of room, and I know it's tough for you to see, but let me lift this camera up a little bit here, and you can get an idea. So there's enough room where the ceramic is still exposed all the way at the bottom of the windshield there. And so there's enough room to get my film in there without a problem. And I also have something tucked down in there to pick up the water. And even this thin sheet, what will happen is the solution will hit the towel and it'll soak back up this way. So instead of pouring down into the dash, it'll suck back up, and you can see this towel's been used. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but there's a lot of water stains. Because this is what I use this towel for, right? It's exclusively for installing these windshield pieces and putting in the windshield area like this to sop up the water. So I know a lot of people are buying these ropes, and I really just, if you guys watched enough of my videos, I really just don't like a lot of these, these new things that you got to buy, and they're 30, 40, 50 bucks. And that rope in particular doesn't eliminate the need to have the dash covered. So you still got to incorporate something to cover the dash. And with this process, I have the entire electronics system in the dash concealed and safe, right? So I don't have to worry about any water getting on anything. When I pull this sheet out at the end, there'll be a minimal amount of solution just to wipe up real quick, and it's really a nice system. So I think what I'm going to do here is we got 7 people watching. What's up, guys? Good to see you. If you guys want to ask questions or type something in the chat, that's cool. It's right there, so feel free to do that. But this is just going to be a quick, short video. I just wanted to share this with you because I'm not sure. A windshield can be a daunting task, right? So this piece, and I'm gonna do this Air 70, which is a Reno Air 70. I think it's a 90% ceramic film. It's really light. This was a sample piece, and honestly, I wish it was a little darker. Maybe even like a 42% is kind of what I like. Not quite 35, but it'll be fine. I'm just going to try it out. It's got this blue hue, kind of like I said, like the Mercedes sort of factory glass, which I kind of like. And then I'm going to throw this sun strip, which is just a Reno monocarbon 5%, a carbon-based film. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to throw this together, and so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and clean this windshield here. So just hang tight. Enjoy. Boy, I'm going to end up probably needing some solution. That sucks. I should have did that before I started streaming here, but no worries. So I'm just going to scrub, just use a basic scrubby pad on this. It's a brand new car. 99% of the time, a brand new car isn't going to have anything that I'm really going to have to hit with a pot scrubber. I'm going to take some of this excess sheet here and stuff it in the glove box so my feet don't basically end up dragging it and pulling it out of where I have it installed here. And I think I'm pretty good. This could be a little tighter right here. I got a little area where the sheet, it could go down a little bit more so it's not kind of in the way when I put the film in. But let me see once if I can just, I think I'm going to be alright. I'm going to leave that. I'll work around that. I'll show you how I can do that, or you can do that. It's not a big deal. So I don't have to worry now. I can, spray down my windshield, get it nice and wet. I don't have to worry about solution on going down behind the dash and whatnot. And this is a concern as well for even some of the vehicles that we do the back windows on. For instance, some of the Audis, even the Film and Vinyl Designs, the pattern company that I work with and use, they have some warnings on some of their patterns that you need to cover, like the amp in the Audi A4, I think it is. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, you got to cover some electronics because if you go in there and get that stuff wet, it will damage the amplifier and some of the electronics in there, and that'll really be bad for you. Another car that I've mentioned here in recent times, and I don't think many people are aware of it, is the Honda Civic hatchback. That particular car, if you don't take off the drain tube, or it's not actually the drain tube, but it's the tube that the electronics go to, like the license plate and stuff. If you don't take that tube out and plug it up with like a towel, when you tint the window, water will go down and it'll leak into that tube. When you shut the hatch, it'll leak down further into where the electronics are housed, down in the side panel. And I had one guy, luckily he was a manager at a Honda dealership, and so he got like warranty work on this car because otherwise it would have been damaged and it would have been a problem. So that is just some of the stuff that, hey, you should have insurance, you should take these precautions, and just make sure you don't end up having, an expensive repair bill come your way because of just solution going where it shouldn't go. So, like, see how I got this now? It's like I can just squeegee and I can just throw the water down in this sheet and everything's covered, I don't have to worry or fiddle around. I'm gonna rinse that area down real quick before I install it. So I'm just gonna kind of squeegee. I'm gonna start making some straight shots across the shield here. Get over as best I can on the side. I'll rinse that down. I missed a little bit there, and my big head's probably in the way quite a bit, but you should be able to get an idea here. I know it's really tricky and difficult to do a windshield all by yourself. It's really quite often a much larger piece of film that needs to be handled. And so without having like a reverse roll technique in your arsenal for installing one of these, it can really be tricky. And I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna rinse that down right when I have the piece in my hand and I'm ready to go. But I'm just gonna kind of show here the reverse roll. And now we're down to 2 watchers, so that's cool. I'm really just making this live video so I don't have to edit nothing, and it'll be up for other people to see. So no biggie. I was kind of excited to see 7 people in there, but it must be whatever other tinters. They don't need no insights on this. They got it already locked down. Now this piece of film is quite shrunk, so it's gonna want to curl on the peel board. So I'm only gonna, because of gravity, I'm only gonna wet down like this top, maybe half. If I see the film curling, I'll kind of stop peeling and I'll wet the rest of the film from the bottom up. But it seems to be stable. It's staying in place, so no big deal. That's one of the things you gotta kind of watch when you really shrink a piece of film and you go to do this reverse roll. These top edges will want to roll because they have quite a bit of curvature in them. So and if they do curl, they'll end up contaminating the adhesive side, because you'll have the back side of the film, which could have a little dust or something on it. It'll end up rolling over onto the adhesive side, and it'll most certainly bring at least a couple specks of dust with it. There's no question about it. So you kind of want to eliminate that. So now I got this thing, wet down, ready to go. The liner's still on it, and what I'm gonna do, and you've seen this before, probably you guys, are even doing this yourselves or know how to do it, but for somebody that comes along and isn't quite solid on it and wants to know a little bit more, the reverse roll, like, I don't know, doing the Frankenstein method, kind of holding the film out on your arms. I still see videos of these old school guys whipping the film around and holding it on their arms, and I just don't like it, man. I don't think it's the best method. I mean, look at this. So now I got this piece. It's completely covered. There's no risk of contamination. I can walk around the shop all day with it. It's good to go. So I don't have to worry about contaminants in that regard. I don't have to worry about really much of any dust or anything getting on it. And now what I'm going to do, did I switch cameras? I did. Did I? Yeah, okay, sorry. So I'm going to rinse down the side. And now you can see this sheet is pretty well saturated. And I'm going to rinse this down and just get that out of the way. Rinse down that side. Just have myself, what I feel pretty comfortable. It's pretty hard to do a windshield and not get something, a speck, a little crease. Typically it's very, very minimal, and you're trying not to get something right in the driver's, field of vision there. But just quite honestly, it's a very difficult window to get really perfect, and I think, like I said, the reverse roll is really the way to go with this. So I'm going to kind of position myself And I'm going to slide myself down to the edge of the seat here so I can really get myself up and over on this side. And I'm going to unroll this thing. And I'm going to stop maybe about that far, about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way across the shield. And then what I'm going to do is just work on positioning and getting this. It's a little bit stuck on the bottom there. So you got to just take your time and get it to the point where it'll slide around. Kind of shimmy it around so you have the ability to move it. And once it's freed up, you can slide it into place and you can really eyeball and get it lined up well. And now look at that. I got the whole shield on. I'm going to kind of pull it up a little bit over here just so I have this bottom edge out of the way. I actually touched it a little bit right there. So what I'm going to do is, now I dropped my bottle. What I'm going to do is just really quick, I'm going to rinse that corner, just rinse it off into the sheet. And I'm going to pick up, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect positioning. I just want to get it against the glass. And so I don't get contaminants on the piece. And then I'm going to slowly, I got it bunched up quite a bit, not enough where it's going to crease or anything like that. And I'm going to get this thing touched down, and then I'm going to kind of work on getting it absolutely positioned right where I need it. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm going to fill my edges. I can gauge like how far down it is at the bottom, and I really cut a tight piece so there isn't a lot of extra material. And I'm just going to inspect and look around and make sure that I don't have a whole bunch or a gap or any light showing, or I kind of really like how it's lined up. It really fell into place really good. And I feel pretty good with that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give myself a little slip agent here. And the first thing I want to do is get the moisture and the solution away from this rear view mirror assembly and this top sensor area here. I want to tack it down on the dot matrix, and I want to work in between here. I got the generic Chinese side swiper unit. I can see that I got a speck of dust right here. It's not a real major issue, just one chunk. So I think I'm okay there. I generally will let a few specks of dust slide on a windshield, because I'll even tell people before I put it on, you could do this window multiple times and chase after little specks of dust. And if I have a pocket of contaminants, that's a different story. But if I have, a couple specks of dust, a speck here, a speck there, I'm just trying to be real with you. I'm not going to go crazy and nitpick over the littlest things on a windshield, because it's such a large piece of film and it's such a hard install, especially when you're learning. I'm like, this thing is falling together pretty darn good, and I'm going to try to get my head out of the way. But, now it's just pretty much straightforward squeegeeing. I'm going to try to work toward the corners, evenly stretch the film out so that I don't end up with any bunching or any fingers popping up. And I'm going to be careful where I got this sheet tucked. And I'm going to go on that side to kind of conquer that last corner there. And so got 4 watching. What's up, my friends? If anybody wants to add anything. And actually for this, I don't even need to be in the car. I can do it from the outside, just kind of looking at what I got. Be comfortable. It's a little bit more ergonomic of a position, and it actually a lot of times is easier. So I got that. So now I'm just going to do my second pass. I'm going to push harder. I'm going to grab my paper towel so I can sop up a little bit on the edges, but I'm not going to really finalize too much because I still got that sun strip. So I'm going to put a little solution down just for slip purposes. And now I'm going to do my little bit more uniform, systemized sort of squeegee final pass here and get as much moisture as I can out of there. and I'm pushing hard. I'm overlapping halfway where it's wet because I want that drag. I want that resistance. I don't want the squeegee to really slide as much as it could. So I overlap halfway so I get that drag on the squeegee edge, which allows me to get more solution out. This area here is really, I'm going to focus on that with a paper towel. I got some moisture in there, I can tell, and you can't really do much with it with this thing. You got to be able to squeegee it with a paper towel and actually sop up the water that you push out of the way. So I'm going to hold off on that for a second and just do this. Finalize this. I get myself positioned a little better. And it's, you know what? It really came out clean. I mean, so far, I'm sure when I get outside, I'll be able to notice a few more specks, but all in all right now, I know I got this little guy here. I can probably heat that up and just crush it and have really no real worries. So I'm not even going to sop up the edges right now. I'm just going to get this stuff out of this rear view mirror bracket area because I'm going to throw this sun strip on right away. And so there's no point in me really tackling the edges because I'm about to spray them down again anyways. And I'm really running low on solution, but I think I should be good. In fact, I do see here on the edge where I got a little water leaking back in. I don't want that. So I'm gonna tackle that. I'll just hit it with the tri-edge here with the slip tape. I don't have to worry about, I can see a couple specks of dust over there on that edge, no biggie. So I'm just gonna, and I'm not even gonna put solution where I just did the little dry squeegeeing. I'm gonna leave that, and I'll put enough solution on the actual sun strip to cover that area. And I'm really running low on solution here, but I think I got enough to get through the video here. So, alright, this piece, this is kind of, it's tricky when you got this big cutout like this. You'll see when I get in the car here with this one. I'm coming right now, but I've got this really little thin, narrow piece of film in the middle. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this side, and it really wants to stick because it's film on film here. So yeah, it really wants to stick. So I'm just going to get that in place. Oh man, it really wants to stick. Alright, I'm gonna have to, before this falls here, I'm gonna have to spray more than I anticipated. And there we go. I'm gonna get this over and in place here. I'm gonna bunch that on the end so I can tuck it without dragging it on the plastic itself. I'm going to get this lined up here by the rear view mirror tab. This side should fall into place. It's pretty good. One thing I want to focus on is this area here. I want to make sure this is smooth. If I get this area smooth up front, everything else should fall into place. So actually this sun strip, I haven't done a sun strip on a 18 Accord yet, but I could have shrunk this sun strip a little bit. I think I can stretch it out and make it fine, but it has a little bit of curvature to it, it appears. So, but we'll get this squeegee down, and I got a little moisture coming out the side there. I want to knock that out of the way. That's where because there's a little relief, I could have shrunk that for sure. So I'm going to be careful doing this side here. I want to make sure this is smoothed out really nice before I do much squeegeeing, because if I didn't have it probably would work the same. I was going to say if I didn't have this film underneath this sun strip. I might be having a little harder time, but I think it's okay. And the strip actually fell into place really nice. It's really in the right position. So I feel pretty good with that. I'm gonna just do one shot on this. I'm not gonna respray and squeegee again because I'm about to go over this with the paper towel and the hard card. So coming through here, this forces me to kind of go through and do this one more time and just make sure I get all this solution out of the way. And I try to get my head out of there. Sorry. It's not probably the best camera angle, but this side you can see pretty well. My phone alarm's going off. I don't know why. So, couple more passes, and I'm gonna go out for that the remainder there. And just hit that with like I did before. And there we go. Well, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to finalize this. And what I want to do is I'm going to dry this shroud here for the sensor. I'm going to hit these A-pillars, get those dried off. And, I mean, a windshield you can do by yourself. You don't need another person. In fact, the first few that you would do if you haven't been doing this is they're going to be really awkward and you're probably going to get them really dirty. But if you stick with it and don't make yourself dependent on needing another person to install a windshield or a back window, you're going to be much more valuable as an employee or even, as a self-employed guy. I mean, it's just there's not always going to be somebody around, so it can be done. It takes a little practice, but if you stick with it, you can come up with a professional, clean install and do it all by yourself. So now I'm going to pull this sheet out, and I'll show you here. So I pull this out. All the moisture is in this sheet. I'm gonna roll it up so it's only a dry part touching the seat, and then I'm gonna show you this. You can see it left a little bit of moisture, but I will dry that out really quick, and it's just really a safe and effective way to do this. And you don't have to do anything but buy like a $3 sheet from Goodwill, and it sops up all the water. And I'm just gonna go over that bottom edge a little bit with I got a couple of specks of dust on that side that I can iron out, and no worries, no big deal with that. And let's see, I got this so I can use my big foot here. Or whatever this is, I forget what they're called. I think it's the Bigfoot. And I'm just gonna take and with the right angle so I don't bunch the film or cause a finger or get a crease, a very low angle. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit this edge and dry this, and really that is about it. It's done. And so I just wanted to make a really short video, because if you feel like I gotta buy these rope things and use those, otherwise I'm gonna, you can just get a couple dollar sheet from the Goodwill or Salvation Army or whatever thrift kind of store you have in your area and do that. And it works. It works. And so that's that, guys. I just wanted to make a short video so people could get some insight and know how to do that in a pretty efficient way. Jaybird's in the house. Brother, hope you got some work and things are going well for you. Hope you're blessed with abundance and provision, my friend. Good to see you. And he says he had to replace generic side swipe blade for the good fast, the good one fast. Yeah, those things they wear out. I mentioned in a couple other videos this thing here, the generic side swiper. So we ordered these from China. You can get them on eBay or Alibaba. But the blade that comes with them, it's like a dark blue and they wear out really fast. They're kind of just shit. They're just junk. So cool, man. I hope you enjoy that thing. I really like this, 5 inches of squeegee ability. The angle's nice and it's really got a good, you can get a good amount of leverage on it. And I just used it for that whole windshield, so it's really nice, man. Good to see you, brother. Shoot me a text or call me sometime if you want. You got my number. And I hope that was helpful for you guys. Joe here, Tint Academy. You can check us out. I had one of the brothers here, I forget who he is, join up at Tint Academy, the group on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Tint Academy. No, actually, what is it? It's facebook.com/groups/Tint Academy. And if you got questions there, man, you can interact with me one-on-one. And he had something he was doing with a BMW and had a pretty good idea what he was doing, but just wanted to kind of run it by me and maybe just validate what he was already thinking and was already going to do. So I think I was able to maybe just kind of solidify what he had already been thinking, so that was cool. And a couple of the other guys are in there. But if you want to ask me something one-on-one, post pictures up. I'm giving video responses in there because I don't have a whole lot of time to be typing and typing out replies and stuff. So that's kind of cool. And if I have something that I'm working on that would help you in my video reply, then I will record that and share with you that specific. So I can't get to all the kind of different cars people are asking. Like somebody asked about an older '07 Mazda 6 or something. I don't have one available, so can't help you there. But anyways, Tint Academy. Learn how to tint carwindows.com, facebook.com/groups/Tint Academy. Check us out and hope this video was helpful. We will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you soon. All right, take care.